1. The haunted tip. Sarah, a pizza delivery driver, received an order for a late-night delivery to a secluded mansion atop a hill. The instructions stated that the payment would be in cash, with a generous tip promised. Despite the eerie reputation of the mansion, Sarah decided to take the chance for a substantial tip. As she drove up the winding road, the mansion emerged through the darkness, its windows like empty eyes. Unease settled over her as she climbed the porch steps and rang the doorbell. The door creaked open, revealing a man in an old-fashioned suit who silently gestured for her to come inside. The man led her to a dimly lit dining room, where a sumptuous feast was laid out on the table. The air grew colder, and Sarah noticed that her breath formed frosty puffs. The man indicated that she should place the pizza on the table. Suddenly, a spectral figure materialized, a woman in a flowing gown. She whispered incoherent words, her voice a haunting melody. Panicking, Sarah dropped the pizza and stumbled backward. The man and woman continued their spectral dance, paying no attention to her. Sarah made a hasty exit, her heart racing. As she got into her car and looked back at the mansion, she noticed a figure watching from an upstairs window, the same woman who had appeared in the dining room. She drove away, shivering, the promised tip forgotten in the wake of her chilling encounter. 2. The midnight delivery. Late one night, Mike, a pizza delivery driver, received an unusual order for a delivery to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. The address was accompanied by cryptic instructions to leave the pizza on a specific crate inside the warehouse. Intrigued and slightly unnerved, Mike decided to go ahead with the delivery. Arriving at the warehouse, Mike's footsteps echoed as he ventured inside. The dim light revealed rows of dusty crates, and he followed the instructions to the designated crate. As he placed the pizza on top, a whisper rustled through the air, sending a shiver down his spine. Suddenly, a light flickered to life, revealing a circle of hooded figures surrounding him. Their chants filled the air, growing louder and more intense. Panicking, Mike tried to leave, but an invisible force held him in place. The hooded figures seemed to channel an otherworldly energy, and the crate beneath the pizza burst into flames, forming an eerie portal. Terrified, Mike broke free from the invisible grip and sprinted toward the exit. The portal's flames roared behind him, and as he burst out of the warehouse, the flames consumed the entire building. He watched in shock as the warehouse collapsed into a pile of ashes. The memory of the chanting figures haunted his dreams, a reminder of the supernatural encounter he had narrowly escaped. 3. The wrong turn. Ella, a new pizza delivery driver, was given an order that led her deep into the countryside. As she navigated the winding roads, her GPS suddenly malfunctioned, leaving her lost and disoriented. Panic rising, she tried to find her way back, but every road seemed unfamiliar. Just as darkness fell, Ella stumbled upon a desolate cabin in the woods. She approached, hoping to ask for directions, but the door swung open before she could knock. An old man beckoned her inside, his smile unsettlingly wide. Inside the cabin, the air was stifling, and a strange odor hung in the air. The man's conversation grew increasingly bizarre, and Ella realized with horror that the cabin was filled with unsettling trinkets and eerie decorations. She attempted to leave, but the door had vanished, replaced by a solid wall. As panic consumed her, the old man's demeanor shifted, his face contorting into an expression of malice. He advanced toward Ella, who fought back with every ounce of strength. In the struggle, a shelf of trinkets crashed to the ground, revealing a hidden passage behind it. Ella seized the opportunity, darting through the passage and into the night. She sprinted through the woods until she stumbled upon a road, flagging down a passing car. The driver, concerned by her disheveled state, offered her a ride to the nearest town. Ella never discovered who or what the old man was, but the memory of the cabin's horrors would forever haunt her. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn on notifications. 4. The Phantom Order. Jason, an experienced pizza delivery driver, received an order for an address that he couldn't locate on any map. The instructions seemed to lead to an abandoned warehouse district known for its eerie atmosphere. Despite his reservations, Jason's curiosity got the better of him, and he set off to find the mysterious customer. Navigating the labyrinthine streets, Jason finally arrived at the designated warehouse. As he approached, he noticed a faint light flickering in the distance. The air grew chilly, and an unsettling fog enveloped the area. Ignoring his instincts, Jason stepped inside, his footsteps echoing through the empty space. In the dim light, he spotted a table with a single slice of pizza, untouched. As he moved closer, whispers seemed to dance around him, forming fragmented sentences that sent a chill down his spine. He realized he was not alone. An indistinct figure stood at the far end of the warehouse. Unease turned to fear as the figure's shape shifted, revealing itself as a ghostly specter. It beckoned to him with a skeletal hand, its eyes emitting an otherworldly glow. Panicking, Jason stumbled back, knocking over a stack of crates that crashed to the ground with a deafening noise. The specter's unearthly shriek filled the air, and the fog thickened, making it hard to see. Jason fled toward the exit, his heart pounding. Just as he reached the door, the specter lunged at him, its icy fingers grazing his shoulder. He burst out into the night, gasping for air. Looking back, he saw the warehouse's lights flicker and die, the eerie fog dissipating. He had narrowly escaped the clutches of a vengeful spirit, forever marked by the phantom order that had led him into a nightmare. 5. The Silent Suburbia. In a quiet suburban neighborhood, Mia, a pizza delivery driver, received a call for an order to a house on a street she had never noticed before. The address seemed to appear out of thin air, not matching any known locations. Intrigued and slightly uneasy, Mia decided to follow the directions on her GPS. As she drove down the unfamiliar street, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The houses all had an eerie stillness about them, and there were no signs of life. No cars in driveways, no lights in windows. Mia's unease deepened, but she pressed on, determined to make the delivery. The address led her to a house that seemed to stand in isolation, shrouded in an unnatural silence. Mia parked her car and approached the front door, her steps quiet against the unsettling hush. She knocked, and to her surprise, the door swung open without a sound. Inside, the house was dimly lit, casting long shadows across the floors. Mia called out, announcing the pizza delivery, but her words seemed to disappear into the silence. She set the pizza down on a table, her eyes darting around, trying to make sense of the unsettling atmosphere. As she turned to leave, a soft whisper tickled her ears, a voice she couldn't quite discern. The whisper grew into a chorus of faint voices, as if the very walls were murmuring secrets. Mia's heart raced as she backed toward the door, her instincts screaming at her to escape. Just as her hand touched the doorknob, the voices crescendoed into a cacophony of unintelligible words. The room began to warp, the walls contorting and shifting as if alive. Mia's grip on reality wavered as the space around her seemed to twist and turn. In a burst of panic, Mia flung open the door and stumbled outside, gasping for air. The moment she crossed the threshold, the voices ceased, and the world returned to normal. She looked back at the house, which now appeared ordinary, as if nothing had happened. Shaken and bewildered, Mia rushed back to her car, her heart still racing from the surreal encounter. As she drove away from the silent suburbia, she couldn't shake the feeling that she had glimpsed a world beyond reality, a place where the boundaries between the living and the unknown were dangerously thin. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn on notifications.